episode of the MultimediaJay Show is brought to you
Whatever. Yeah, I had a little bit of fun with that one, that's for sure. Anyways, you know what's been missing from this channel for a long time? Tech-type videos, tech tinkerer type videos, the stuff that I usually do in this vlog series thing that I do every so often, but yeah, been busy doing other stuff and the job's been running me straight into the ground, and finally I'm actually able to get up and move on weekends after running around like a maniac in this warehouse all week. So today what I want to do is I want to fix some nagging issues with my computers and get some IT practice in as well. So let's go set up some stuff in the room that I mess with all the computers in. Okay, so we've got quite a bit of stuff on the table today. We've got the Craptop with its system recovery screen up, about to run off of the recovery disks. The Crapbook running the whole thing on the Slimware Utilities website. The recovery disks that I keep in here. Recovery disks, for, of course, more recovery disks, obviously that's what the compact thing is. And my plug-in drives, as well as the old Trooper camera that I still gotta try and clean out, because despite going into the drink, it still works. It's just I like the Handycam better than the Samsung, though. It's a lot easier to work with and a lot more finely polished. But this thing would definitely have the superior battery life compared to the Sony camera. But we're not here to talk about cameras today. So I've had some problems lately. I've had problems with my laptop. I've had problems with this laptop. Bits and pieces of it started breaking, and I've also had problems with not having enough of a regular use for my plug-in drives lately, which I'd really want to do because hard drives can actually seize up if they sit around too long. I've had that happen once or twice, usually if they're left in cold areas and things like that. You know, it's like having your car sit around for too long. You know, maybe sometimes it's hard to get it going again when you actually try to use it again. But I want to use my plug-in drives more regularly, and I want to make images for my systems. So put two and two together. My old DVR drive, 750 gigs, will become the image drive to store backup images for whenever I have to re-image a machine. Now, there's two ways to do images. The wrong way is to just make an image of your current system and that's it. So you can go back to 2 weeks ago or something like that. The right way is to build an image from scratch with a fresh OS install and all the programs you currently use and all the updates, and then just keep that image up to date and have a master image and an incremental image. So there's nothing wrong with just doing like a snapshot of your system at X point in time and then going back to it if something goes wrong, but it's good to have a master image available that you can work with and keep up to date. So in the event that the incremental images aren't enough, you can recover from scratch very, very quickly and not have to go through this big long process of reading off of all these recovery CDs and stuff like that. So I've seen this done at corporate sites and other big IT places and stuff like that, in those kinds of environments. I want to try and make a home version of that without having to install a file server in my house or something. So I'll use a little plug-in drive for that. I'll use a plug-in drive and with that 750 gig drive that I'm not using. And the images, of course, will be applications only. Data will be on the other plug-in drive and other plug-in drives and and flash memory cards and other stuff that I'm backing up my important data to these days. Optical discs are kind of falling out of favor with me these days because of their low capacity and their vulnerability to getting scratched and stuff like that. So, alright, so why am I doing this? Well, why am I on this website on the netbook? Well, Slimware Utilities is a very popular program right now. Shoot, look at all these awards it's winning and all this media coverage it's getting. Unfortunately, if you're anyone besides someone who writes magazine articles or online articles or does news coverage for a living and actually tries to use programs like this, you know that Slimware programs are just the latest snake oil program that claims to solve all your computer's problems. When actually, if you're unlucky enough, they can actually introduce newer problems. Like, for example, one of these programs that's flashing on our screen in this little marquee thing they've got going here is Slim Drivers. It's probably coming up next, I think. Slim Drivers is a program that's supposed to crowdsource your next one, I think. Slim Drivers is a program that's supposed to there it is, It's supposed to crowdsource the updating of your system's hardware drivers. Now, crowdsourcing meaning that people send in feedback, and that gets aggregated into a database and it runs the program. So, but the problem with crowdsourcing is that you get the Wikipedia effect from time to time, where because anyone can submit information, sometimes the information they submit isn't all that great, and you have problems. So, returning to the Craptop, I used howdy folks, I used slim drivers on this machine for about a couple of weeks, and then suddenly my sound wouldn't work. Why? Because I'll bet the audio driver that Slim Drivers said that I had to update for this thing wasn't the right one. I've broken the audio on this laptop, I've broken the wireless on this laptop, and I've broken even the USB support on this laptop before because of drivers from Slim Drivers. So that's why I'm going to have to make an image of this. I'll probably have to go around making images of all my systems now. Now let's say you want to use a program like Slim Drivers to do all the snooping around for you and telling you, or the Slimware programs, to do all the snooping around for you and tell you when your computer needs to be updated. Can you make any use of this whatsoever? The answer is yes. Slimware has a program that checks your drivers and checks your software for updates. Now, good drivers like Catalyst, ATI's Catalyst, or AMD ATI Catalyst Control Center, good drivers automatically check for updates and let you know, hey, there's a new version available. The others that are a little more old school, you actually have to either run something to check for updates or you have to go looking for yourself. What you can do with these Slimware programs, and I just clicked something, what you can do with these... Oh, now it's freezing up. It's only one... Come on, this is a 1 gigahertz netbook. Don't mess it up. What you can do with these programs to benefit from them without putting your computer at risk is use them as your snooping programs. Have them snoop around looking for driver updates and then know where to go manually to check and download the latest drivers. Like in the case of, say, my netbook. I would run Slim Drivers. It would tell me there was like a sound update available. I could go to Acer's website, look up my specific make and model, and see if there really is something there and download it. It's a little clunkier, but if you don't want to be potentially messing up the drivers in your system or even the registry, that's the way you should use these programs. Sadly, though, these snake oil programs become really popular with people because they think, oh, look, I don't have to learn anything about computers to update my computer. And then something like this happens, and they wind up looking for someone to fix their computer anyway. So... Okay, this is turning into a radio-style vlog. Let's start the system recovery. Oh, can't use the mouse on this one. I gotta use the touchpad. Run program from media. Okay, so hit next. And let's begin the fun. Now, this may take several hours, if not most of the night. Factory reset. Backup. No. There's nothing important on here. Blow the whole thing away. All devices should be disconnected, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sure, whatever. Alright, so I don't know if you want to watch a video of me switching out CDs and stuff, because this thing asks for CDs every so often, but I'm going to do some stuff on the main system upstairs while this thing's running stuff, so I don't waste my entire night trying to get this thing working correctly. Now, because I want to mess around with formal image creation and deployment, what I've done is I've taken this old 750 gig drive that I used to use for my DVR back at the ill-fated cable job earlier this year, and I've made it the image drive. I've got application installers, EaseUs to-do backup, which is what I'll use for the generic non-hard drive specific images, or maybe I'll just use it for everything in case I ever have to switch hard drive brands. Seagate and Western Digital both have specifically licensed versions of Acronis for making images with that I can use if I have a Seagate or a Western Digital hard drive to play with, and they're interchangeable. So if I go from Seagate to Western Digital, I just got to change my Acronis program that I use to restore the image. So EaseUs to-do backup is going to be largely for I don't know why I got hiccups when I haven't eaten anything yet. EaseUs to-do backup is going to be largely for the Craptop with its Hitachi hard drive, I think, and any third-party types hard drives that I still have floating around somewhere. I think I got a Toshiba hard drive that I could put in a VX in a Nexstar TX case and make that into a plug-in drive too. So we're going to have images. The image file is going to go here and have shortcuts to all the programs to install. This is for image creation, really. We got an image list, which I'm going to update because I want to put CCleaner back on here to use that as my cleanup thing. I'm going to add Slim Computer too. I'm going to use the Slim programs largely as snooper programs to snoop for updates like I mentioned earlier. Free File Sync, Crystal Disk Info, Skype, Nova Bench. I'm adding Steam too because I've purchased RPG Maker VX Ace and RPG Maker VX Ace through Steam, so I'm wondering if I could maybe use Steam as my DRM for that instead of DRM crap going around all over the place. It's got a Hitachi hard drive, so we're going to use EaseUS to do backup for everything. Now the categories of applications that I'm using, core applications, these are applications that I want to have on every computer that I have because it's mine. Got laptop-specific applications, in this case battery bar, only for the laptops, and then wireless-specific Xeris Wi-Fi Inspector and Insocider, as I like to call it, for anything with a wireless chip. So, we got ourselves an applications list, and I'll keep that up to date for some documentation for these. And then a big list of shortcuts. Obviously, the first thing you want to install is the security software. So we got our Avast and Zone Alarm shortcuts to those installers here. And then everything else that's got to be installed on the list. So the way this would work is, let me back the camera away a bit. So let's start from the top. I'll install 7-zip. I'll click, let's see. How come that's not working? Try Audacity. That's not right. Don't tell me this thing's had data it's having data problems now. Applications install. Oh, that's why. Because I moved everything. I'm going to have to recreate that list. But here's what I'm going to do. For every computer, I'm going to have shortcuts. Here's all the installers for core programs. The laptop because I split this up into core, laptop, and wireless after I made those shortcuts. So I'm going to have to go fix that. So we're going to have all the application installers stored on here too for all the applications. And then each computer is going, if we go to the images section, each computer is going to have shortcuts to everything that I want installed on that specific computer. So the way it'll work once I get the shortcuts fixed is I double click, this one probably won't, this is broke, these shortcuts are all broken now, but what I'll do is I'll take like Google Earth, double click that, run the installer, hit the back button, which will take me back here, go down to the next program, and the next, and the next, and the next. And this is only for building the master image. So the only time I would have to do this again after this is to either update the programs or just rebuild the master image if I ever needed to. So maybe I'm getting a little too over-prepared for this, but the point of all this is to do all the work up front and hopefully save trouble later on if I have to re-image a system. If I lose a hard drive or say there's some malware that messes up my system or something like that. Just to bring some of the stuff that I've been seeing at work in various IT environments over the years home and benefit from it with the systems I have here. There we go, fixed it up. Shortcut to programs to install. I fixed all the shortcuts. Avast and Zone Alarm will be first, then everything else. The way it'll work, here's the list. Click, install, go back. Click, install, go back. Click, install, go back. What was the Adobe Reader? Battery bar got sent there by accident. Oh, nope, delete that. I already got a separate shortcut for battery bar. Yep, see? Battery bar. Okay, time is currently 6:27 p.m. Let's see how long this first step of factory resetting the laptop takes. Yay, look, a factory default desktop with all that stupid Aero Windows 7 eye candy that I never use. 8:09 p.m. Yeah, this might take a while. So we got a factory default desktop with all the bloatware, whatever you want to call it, that trialware and crap that I still have to go delete. So this thing's not going to go online until I get the security software on it and get all this cleaned up. So the first thing to do is to uninstall all the stupid trial programs that come with the computer. And then start building it up from there. This is why I want to start messing around with images. I don't want to have to keep doing this over and over again and wasting entire nights. Fortunately though, I've got stuff to do while I'm waiting for everything to do stuff. Oh yeah, RPG Maker VX Ace running through Steam, and this is computer number 2 that I've got this program installed on. So, not really much going on yet. Yay, cool! Whatever. At least I got stuff to do while I'm bored down here waiting for this computer to do its thing. I imagine the Windows updates, once I get it online, are going to take a long time too. So, yeah, this is looking like it's going to be an all-night project. The later it goes, of course, the quieter I'll have to be to not make a ton of noise late at night. So, okay, let's start removing all of the trialware that I don't want to keep. 9:30, and finally it's starting to look like one of my computers again, with the Windows 2000-esque theme and Windows 7 that sticks to the basics and doesn't slow the machine down with all that stupid eye candy. Time to install some Avast, the first of many programs to reinstall, then we can start bringing the machine back online. I will not be running Slim drivers on this though, I'll do all the updates manually. The Windows updates by themselves might take over an hour with how old the Windows 7 is on this machine now. So security software first, and then we'll bring it online, get the Windows updates, then install some programs. Finally, the Windows updates are done. Now how long is it going to take to put the software on here? 2 a.m. I knew this would take a long time. Well, looks like we're just about done. We just got to create the image now. The only problem is EaseUS to-do backup is now completely commercial. There's no longer a free for home users version of the program. So what I'm going to have to do in order to make any image file at all is use a little trick. This computer, of course, has a Hitachi hard drive, which means that the Acronis versions for Seagate and Western Digital drives aren't going to work on it. Except, I am using a Western Digital drive in an enclosure to store this thing. So there will always be a WD drive plugged in when I'm doing anything with the images. So let's try this. Let's try installing Acronis True Image WD Edition with a WD drive with an enclosure plugged in. See if this works. Okay, moment of truth here. G Images Craptop 1223 of 2012. Does it work? Next. Proceed. There we go. After this I'll make a boot media thing, and we'll see if we can restore the image from the drive. It's one thing that this recognizes the plug-in drive as a Western Digital when it's turned on, but what about when there's no OS running and we're just running off of a bootable disk? So how long is this supposed to take? Well, that's encouraging. There it is. There's our image file. What do we got for a size? 17.1 gigs. That's doable. Probably can store a lot of images on this drive at that size. Anywho, time for the final moment of truth. Let's use the boot media with the plug-in drive plugged in. See if we can access the image and restore it, or do we get gripes that there's no Western Digital drives? Alright, anytime now. Pushing 3 in the morning here. Like I figured, this took most of the night. There goes the old drive. Sounds like a jet plane about to take off. One of the few optical drives I have left that still makes that much noise. Starting Acronis loader. What's up, everyone? It's been a long night. Okay, do we have a mouse or do we have to use the touchpad? Nope, we have a mouse. Good. Acronis True Image WD Edition. If this works without griping at me that there's no Western Digital drive, then the plug-in drive trick has worked, and we've got ourselves a master image of the Craptop. Maybe in subsequent weekends, I'll make some of these for the netbook and some of the desktops too. But anyways, shiny screen, doubles as a mirror, initialize. There we go, recovery. This thing can't, yep, there it is right there, Craptop 12/23/2012. It's even looking at it. It's looking right at it. G Images Craptop, there it is if I want to restore it. Bada bing, what do you know? We've got ourselves a master image, folks. So let's shut down what's probably some kind of Linux distro. Oh, it restarted. Okay, well, we don't need this then. Eject. And that gives us a master image for the Craptop, which can be stored on this plug-in drive and on any plug-in drive that I want, really. So this will give me a master image to store on plug-in drives, hard drive space on the other computers. It'll be so easy to make all these backups of these files. It's too big to go on an optical disc, but I could probably squeeze it onto an SDXC card. If I need to, I'll get another card reader. But there we go. This little chore of making a master image for this piece of junk is now finally a success. I can get back to playing around with RPG Maker for the time being. What are we up to for a final time here? 2:40 in the morning. Well, I've spent enough time messing around with backing up computers for now. Let's watch this one start back up. Till next time, get some sleep, everybody. This is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.